So, so anyways, here we are back again. So like, check this out. I'm going to put the camera the other way for a second. Check this out. Okay, we're at the methadone clinic, and you think that the captain has characters in his streams? Okay. Anyways, you see my good buddies over here, the tall one who's rocking back and forth, Tranny Trixie, and Dave, who has got a hellacious heroin habit. And no, I'm kidding. And is also a college professor. He really is. Anyways, I better put this back, the other camera facing me, or you'll get like some of these characters that will like make a big deal and say, "What are you filming me, man?" like there's somebody that like shouldn't be filmed because. All right, check it out. Watch this. David. Look, here they come. Look at these guys. Okay, I'll put the back camera when they get in. Get in! Oh, shit. Come on. Oh, I locked it. Okay, so we're at the methadone clinic. There's David's his phone on the floor, like always. Open it! So anyways, say hi, Trix.
Hey, hi!
Hey. Let me tell you something. Here, come on in, get in. Trixie's one of the nicest people in the world. The nicest. And, Trixie, did you say hi, Trixie? Say hi again.
Hi.
Say hello.
Hello.
I can't even see you. Say hi.
Hi.
One of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Trixie. Trixie Deluxe. Say Delight. I know I want to say Deluxe. Trixie Delight, but I can't say Trixie Deluxe because it's the deluxe version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to cigarette.
And it's you can smoke it here. I don't care. Well, let's see. We're at a methadone clinic. I don't want anything in my body that's. Don't you love all the ex-junkies that are like that?
Oh my God, yes.
All the ex-junkies that are like, I'm a vegetarian, okay?
Yeah, I'm
a I'm like, well, thank God. I'm like, thank God for that, because after using McDonald's toilet water to shoot dope.
Yeah, navel lint is a cotton.
Yeah, navel lint is cotton. You wouldn't want to be anything but a vegetarian,
Yeah.
A vegetablearian. So look at her there. She's cool. She's cute. For.
Well, you remember Trixie from the early '80s, so.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
She must have. That must be like taking up most of the brain matter, What was she saying? Okay, look, you guys. If you're not going to get on camera, I'm not doing this.
Well, yeah, how do we?
Here, I'm only kidding. I'm the one that has to do it. I was telling them. I said, if they think the captain's got.
So I'm tired of these fucking videos I see of these people that go and they make like the white guy on Skid Row videos of them walking around looking and they go, oh, I'm stealing myself for the walk down San Pedro Street.
Oh, I know.
One of these days I'll do it at night.
Hey, you remember when I was living in the building that you were living in?
Yeah.
We were talking about renting it out at B&B.
Right. I showed you that thing that was on like on the B&B on the was it the
for Skid Row?
Yeah, somebody put their tent on there.
I believe it.
Yeah, someone was trying to rent their tent out on
and some real rich cat will be like, you want to go experience the experience.
Yeah, exactly. Matter of fact, it was like that woman that had the fucking jacuzzi down there, Trixie, the outdoor jacuzzi.
Any bathtub I get in is a jacuzzi because it's a Jew. As soon as I get in a bathtub, it's a jacuzzi.
Not to be confused with jacuzzi.
It's a jacuzzi. Anyways, so I met this guy over the weekend, right? When I was playing my drums. And oh my God. I'm telling you, man. That, I think I need to tell people immediately, like, say, we're all in this for entertainment purposes, and when you need to leave, you need to leave.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I need to be alone. My alone time is very sacred.
Yes, exactly.
But before you leave, you got the guy going, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And I'm like, "Oh fuck, man. Hey, I'm picking up my girlfriend at the airport." He's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, man. She's at her mother's in Florida because she died, and so she's there, but her mother's not there. But her brother and her family are there." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "Yeah, it's a drag, The fictitious girlfriend and the fictitious mother's death."
You always add something to it. I mean, we were seeing Shiva, and now she's possessed by a dibba.
Oh, man, sometimes when I start, I can't stop. It just keeps going. I'm like, well, the mother died, and the sister and them are having a fight over the estate, and I'm like thinking to myself, shut up already. Shut up, he bought it. Okay, so then...
You add more to it until it becomes like unbelievable, right?
But I told you, and then the next thing I told you what happens after that is, so what time do you go to the airport? And I'm like, 2? Hey, can I go? I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I'm like, what is fucking going?
That's when you had in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Oh, that would be fine with him.
Yeah, but then, that's when you... now you've committed yourself to getting up at 2 in the morning now. Like, and
I can't deal with it, man.
To the airport to pick up a non-existent girlfriend.
I can't deal with it, man. That's why I got the bus, was to ensure solitude. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like, even the cops are very apprehensive about approaching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as, like, trying to get a response. I mean, as far as tickets go and parking tickets, they'll try, but of course I don't keep plates on my bus. So, the one ticket guy asked me, "Why don't you have plates?" I was like, "Because if I did, you'd give me a ticket." He goes, "Well, I could give it to you from the VIN number." I go, "Look for it. There's no VIN number that visible on there."
But yeah, you can find without doing a whole lot of calisthenics, right?
If there's no plates on it, and there's no way they can do anything. If there's no plates, they can't track it. If the VIN number is not visible, yeah.
It'd be a pain. It'd be a pain in the ass or nothing, right?
Why do you think I haven't gotten any tickets? And I'll tell you something else. I got 2 tickets in all the time I've had that bus. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that looks like Scooter. But him too. Everybody's starting to look like this guy to me now. Anyways, 2 tickets, right? And it's legalized criminality in this city because it was a $75 ticket, and if you don't pay it within 2 weeks, it doubles, $150.
Then you don't pay in 2 weeks, it doubles again to $300.
Right.
It keeps going up and
right.
up to $1,200.
Right, and it's bullshit. And then, I mean, this is the thing about this country, is these motherfuckers, there's no unity in this country. People, they just pay it. They pay it. I can't fucking pay it. I don't have that kind of money, man. But all these other motherfuckers just lay down and pay it, and then it doesn't do you any good because they have no sympathy for you.
Yeah, you're non-human because you make less than $160,000 a year.
And when I was living in the building that the city when they were giving us apartments, right, was Skid Row, right? Okay, so this lady in the elevator tells me, "Oh, you got tickets? You should go down to the ticket bureau, and they do stuff for low income, da-da-da-da." And I'm like, okay, so I go down there. You know what they do?
They give you 2 weeks extra.
That's it.
Yeah, then
They don't cut the price at all. They just give you a payment plan.
That's a ridiculous payment plan.
And it's so
that no one could make.
Man, it is legalized criminality, and nobody says anything about it. Everybody pays their fucking parking tickets. Not me.
That's no one here wants to admit that they don't have enough money to pay a parking ticket.
I'll admit it. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
Let me tell you something. I'll admit it. I was ripped off by my band. And that's that's a whole other thing. That's what the captain said he was sick of hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Maybe so, but it's like you could be sick of hearing it, and other people too, not just him. But the thing is, it's because it didn't happen to you.
Yeah, of course.
So hearing about it is just a drag. But for me, if it's a drag for you hearing about it, think about it what it's like having it happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And being fucked out of a lot of different things. Anyways, no, you get it. But anyways, the thing is that, so think about this. The ticket was like $75. For me to register that diesel pusher, it's a Class A, is about $400 a year, right? So I missed 2 years, so it would be like $800, right? I go in and it's $3,800
because of,
and I'm like,
yeah,
$3,800. I'm like, how's that? And they're like, oh well, the other is for tickets and for late registration. I'm like, okay, well, even if it's late registration, how much is the late? So it's like $400 a year for that, so that's $800, and then it's like $100 on each for the late, so that's $1,000. So you're telling me $2,800 is from 2 parking tickets? Yes. I'm sorry, man. I can't do that. I just can't do that. I can't do that. I'm not laying down and letting them do that to me, man.
Yeah, you're right. But, they eventually come to that fucking tax board, man. Now you can't. That's fucking screwing me up.
Yeah, that's who took my money.
They snatched $600 out of my checking account.
California franchises.
When the California Tax Franchise Board snatched $600 out of my
they're
checking
motherfuckers,
account.
And they don't even give you like
they don't serve you paper or anything.
They don't give you a invoice or anything. It just says garnished. And I'm like, garnished from whom?
For what? Yeah.
They don't even give you an invoice saying this is from California Tax Franchise Board. It's for these tickets, ticket number, blah, 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 date. Nothing. It says garnished. And I asked them on the bullshit royalty check that I do get, which is nothing. It took everything anyways. I asked them, who took this? It says garnished. And they're like, we don't know. The bank doesn't know. Nobody knows. And then I knew who it was because it had the acronym for the California. But nothing about what it was for, the 2 tickets today. So, anyways, after we get out of here, when they start dosing again, do you know there's a DMV right over here?
Oh, there is? I didn't
right
know that.
here, man.
I didn't know that.
And I'm going to go there because the lady on the phone told me that I should go there and tell them. She said, she goes, I can't believe they're being so hard on you. She was talking to me. She was from DMV on the phone, the 800 number. She goes, because your dates that you missed are during the whole coronavirus thing. She goes, why don't you tell them that you don't have that much money, you can't pay it, and that it was because of that, and that you didn't know that you could get a non-op. I didn't know about that. A non-operational thing, that you tell them your bus wasn't running or something, or your car, and they don't charge you for that. Because this is the only state I've ever been in that if you miss, like, they have registration dates. You have registration date. Like in Illinois, when you get your plates, right? You pay your registration, right?
Right.
And if you don't pay it, you don't get your sticker, like the next year. And then a cop eventually sees you driving without it.
Pulls you over, right,
and you get a ticket, and you got to pay the ticket. Here, when you go to register it, they assume that you've had the car running on the street that whole time, and you're going to pay for that. You get it? Retro.
Right, yeah.
Like you're going to pay from the last time that it was registered. That's such horse shit that they could be that presumptuous to think that you've been driving around. And you say, well, what if I wasn't? What if this car wasn't even running? They're like, well, how come you don't have a non-operational affidavit or something? I was like, who the fuck would even ask about that? You know, I didn't even know they have such a thing. Look, she's out there. She's spewing some words of wisdom. Look. Look, these guys got to see. She's spewing words of wisdom. I want her to see. I keep putting the camera down. She's got them enamored. enamored in some definitely it's a political debate. I'm an asshole.
Well, all debates are political.
Am I an asshole? It's a political debate. They're having a political debate. Democrat, Republican, or Bernie Sanders. I saw something about Bernie on there today.
Yeah, Bernie's doing a good thing.
No, it was something, though, about how Bernie was pissed off about something. I don't know what it was. Bernie was pissed off about something.
Yeah, you see what was that thing Bernie was pissed off about?
I can't remember.
Plenty to be pissed off about.
I don't know. It was something that pissed me off, too, but I can't remember what it really was, so it must have not been that.
Yeah, I got to fucking go get my...
The only thing I liked about Trump, David,
Mm-hmm.
was that he was my only chance of being alive while the world blows up.
Oh, well, you got probably get a better chance right now, then.
Yeah, but, Trump was... People, they're so stupid. They go, Paul, Putin didn't pull that shit when Trump was in there. That was only because,
Yeah, exactly. It had nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
Trump would have been probably more fucking bellicose than fucking Biden.
That's what I'm saying. I just think Trump will cause total anarchy from stupid things.
He'll do something crazy like fucking attack fucking Canada because of something that fucking the president said. The president of Canada fucking said something about fucking coal or something.
I would love to see total anarchy in the streets. Come on, we grew up through the punk thing, man, and that was the real thing. You can't let it go because you get older. Fuck that. I want to see anarchy in the street. I want to see the whole country burn. I don't give a fuck.
Mind to some people, it's already burned down, according to people I talked to.
Did you ever see that? Did you see that guy on YouTube Shorts? He's like an old man. He's like 101 years old. He's an old veteran. And he's crying. He goes, "This is not what I signed up in the war for, and the boys died for." He goes, "It's disgusting. This country's going to hell." And he's crying. It's sad. I mean, it really is sad.
Well, except what he's crying for. He's going like letting fucking colored folks in the same restaurant. There's a lot of the I don't worship.
Yeah. I just watched it. Did you see that on the Young Turks? Them talking about how Ben Stein. They go, "Where's Ben Stein been lately?" Ben Stein, right?
Right. Yeah.
And the way they spin it. I mean, you have to admit, everybody that's going to spin something, whether it's a good thing, a bad thing, if they're on there. Like they have a production company, and whether it's Ben Shapiro or whether it's somebody you like, they're going to spin it their way, and they're going to make it sound logical. But Ben Stein, man, they really ripped him up,
Oh, he was in there bitching about the Aunt Jemima.
Yeah, about the Aunt Jemima, about the black lady being taken off the Aunt Jemima, the thing. And the Young Turks go, "Oh, we're so sorry, Ben, that you can't live in your Malibu home, and you have to go make your own pancakes, because with the label." But then, they're taking a big stretch saying that the label insinuates that she's making the pancakes for the white folks. I mean, it probably is, but that's still a stretch.
Yeah, but you got to remember that when originally black people were not allowed to appear on television at all. Then they were allowed to appear only as a domestic. So that
right. Like Miss Ellie, they had to always address with Miss.
They're not ready yet.
Listen. You know how I just downloaded this. What's the guy's name again? When they refer to the old ways of the blacks and whites. The guy, what's his name? I downloaded it. I don't want to have to go. What's his name?
Who is he? A white guy?
Yeah, white guy.
And he,
when they talk about the old era of...
What, like Jim Crow?
Yeah, Jim Crow, right.
Uh-huh.
So I downloaded the Jim Crow era of etiquette.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, my God. I'm telling you, you read this shit, and it's like, it's heartbreaking. It's funny as shit, but in a way, because
It's so
funny.
fucking hypocritical.
Right,
It's like the difference between the literacy tests they used to give out.
Right,
you
but
know.
they're talking about like it's. I don't mean it's funny in any way that because it's dehumanizing. It's dehumanizing, and it's done on purpose, intentionally that way because it breaks it down. I'll show you. I got a PDF of it, and it's really good to know this,
Right,
and to actually like teach your kids this, show them because it is amazing the way like. Psychologically, the way they had it worked, where blacks could only do certain things, was to make them on the level of an animal.
yeah.
Like, to seriously, that they were no more.
Yeah, they were chattel, right? Chattel, so they were fucking livestock.
Yeah, they were no more, thought of as, and like the way they would have to address white women in public and white men in public. Was just amazing. I mean, it made me laugh in the way, I don't know how to explain this. Like, you would think, how could you possibly laugh at that? I guess what I was laughing at is
the audacity of it.
Yeah, is that any white person would not see through this and put up with that, and go along with it, and make somebody who's got 2 ears, 2 eyes, a heart, and feel it less than.
Yeah, exactly. That's their whole thing, is making other people feel less than. When you got nothing going for yourself, that's the only way you can make people fucking.
But that's okay. But we know what you're talking about when you say you got something going for yourself. Well, yeah, because with all the money and the riches and things like that, you could still not feel like you're an idiot or something. Like you're not But nevertheless, you still have those riches and stuff. So they really weren't less than.
Well, I'm talking about
the white people.
The white people that that have nothing thinking you have to dress some ignorant ass crackers. Like, what you have?
Right? No, that's what I'm saying. I got to read you this whole thing.
Yeah.
You can get it on yours. Just all you have to do is put Jim Crow era etiquette, and it'll come up. It's amazing, man. It's just so far out there. That's what was making me laugh. I was like, you got to be. I guess to us it seems that way because of times. Maybe back then, I don't know. But I just think that, well, everybody thinks that if they were back then at a certain time, you'd find things outlandish. But maybe you wouldn't because.
Well, you also have to take into account that that etiquette was enforced by a lot of fucking really sick violence.
Oh yeah, but then again, I think like with what was his name again? The young boy that they killed.
Yeah,
Tim. What was his name again? What was his name?
Oh, come on, Trixie. What was his name? It was in the 50s. Yeah. Oh, come on.
Anyways, he was only like 15.
He was. I think he was like 13. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just think to myself, if I was around at that time, I don't care what was happening in society. I would be running after that crowd, telling them, "Get the fuck away from him! The fuck is wrong with you?"
Yeah, of course.
This is a child, man. But
I remember too. The whites that would do that, they were scared too. They didn't want to be accused of being communists.
Yeah, it says that right in there, Jim Crow thing, and they have no qualms about saying it. It says if you were to be a little too friendly with blacks, you'd be called a lover. Right?
Yeah, right.
And I've been called that anyways. When I used to play in the band with my friends from Chicago. Mm-hmm. I told you my friend, this guy Hassan, right? He's obviously he's a brother, but he used to be married to Chaka Khan. His name's Hassan Khan. Anyways, he played bass, right? He was a great bass player, great guy too. He always called himself the Stanky Sonic Boom, But he had a nighttime job at the Museum of Science and Industry, and we would jam like in the Giant Heart because it was the only place that had an electrical outlet.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man. And I remember we did some fucking shrooms, and we were going through all the exhibits. Wow, was that a trip? They got this thing there where, like, it's a plexiglass piece of, like, plexiglass, but it's bent in a certain way that there's another one, like, all the way down at the end of the museum, like 5 blocks away, right? And you could stand there and you whisper into it, you could hear your friend at the other one. the other way.
Really?
Yes, because of the way the acoustics are. Like you face it, and your friends facing opposite each other. You're back to back, but you're like 5 blocks away. Well, maybe like 3 blocks or so. Anyways, and you go, "Hey, what's up?" And it's like we're right in here. Isn't that crazy? I didn't even know this. I heard the Museum of Science and Industry was built for the expo.
Which one?
I don't know, whichever one. The one where that guy killed everybody, C. Holmes or something, where he had the House of Death.
Oh yeah, but like in the 1906 like a World's
Something
Fair.
like that. Yeah, World's Fair. That was built for that, the Science and Industry. I didn't know that. That museum. They actually built a museum for that, for the World's Fair.
Oh yeah.
They do that?
Yeah, they go all out for World's Fairs. Like, you know,
Well, how come?
they still like have like some of the buildings that for Expo 74 in Spokane was built.
When was the last World's Fair?
Oh, they have one every 4 years, I think.
Where? I've never even heard about a World's Fair since my parents.
Yeah, since I was a little kid, I haven't heard about one either.
I remember
the last one I heard about was in Knoxville, Tennessee.
I remember my parents went to one. It was somewhere, like Seattle or something.
Spokane in 1974?
I guess. I don't know. I think it was... In 1974, I was like... God, man, I was out of my brains. That's what I was. I remember taking a whole pack of no-dos because I thought I would get high. Oh, my fucking God. That was the worst thing, man. I remember laying in my bed and I was really like fucking rushing hard, you know? But not in a good way. Bad way. And finally, when it got over, every day at the same time for like the next 3 years, I would get a headache.
Really?
Yeah, man, it fucked me up. It was so stupid. I remember at that time, the kids were running around with, like you were saying today, barbiturates.
Yeah.
And Tuinol, you know, and all the shit, man, that they would sell, teas and blues. That's what he says, Steve Marriott, in 30 Days in the Hole. It was the teas and blues that you got buzzed on. Oh, my God, man. I remember this place called Leonard Park in Chicago. And, oh, my God, I just remember, man. I was younger than the guys that hung around there because I always wanted to, you know, be that guy. So they all had Harleys and stuff. But I was only like 14. And I had a unicycle. I had a unicycle. But I had a mini bike, too. But every time I come by there, they'd always pick on me, right? But then one time, this guy, this fucking asshole, he ran over my unicycle with his car. And it was like bent, fucked up. And the bikers almost killed him. Because they were like, you know, they felt bad for me. Like, you know, oh, the guy's unicycle. I remember I got that unicycle. I was like, everyone was like, you're not going to learn how to ride the thing. I rode that thing everywhere. Everywhere. Man, my mom told me, oh, yeah, Esther Corso, you were Devon. You better look where you're going. She said you were eating an apple and reading a comic book. You know, and crossing the street. I was thinking, you know.
Trixie's getting antsy. She wants to go to.
Trixie's getting antsy. You want a dose?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, those, I mean,
Hey,
those
that
are
looks like a
great.
friend of mine, but it's
No.
not. Does that look like that's not Maurice, right?
Maurice.
You remember Maurice? He was married to that cow. You know, she got pregnant and forced him into marriage. And then, do you remember? At the other clinic, and he was always in Elijah's office.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Maurice?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an alright guy. But it looks kind of like him, but it's not him. I wonder whatever happened to him, man. He was an alright guy. You know when you see people that, like, you know, if they had a chance, a better chance at stuff, they could have been something good? I always thought that about him. I thought if Maurice just had it, you know, he came from a very broken situation. And for him to, I always thought for him to have it together as much as he does is cool.
All right.
Look at this guy. Look at the white guy. He's sagging.
Oh, God.
That cracks me up. Look at him, he's sagging, man. You know what sagging spells backwards?
What? Bagging?
What does sagging spell backwards?
Nagus?
What?
You see, say, you mean, what, Nagus?
No.
Niggas. Okay.
You want to ask you something, anyway, Dave. We want to see if you fill out something.
What's that?
I want to ask you something, Dave. Inside, they were asking if you fill out something.
Look, who's writing in here? It says, let's see what's going on here. I can't even see what it says. David, what are you doing?
I think he wants to go to fucking Doe's.
You don't know how to open the door?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna let that go for.
David, I need you, man.
Oh, okay. What?
All right.
David's my he's my co-host.
Oh, you want? Okay, hold on.
This is the this is the
Hold on, baby.
this is the post-concrete blonde show.
Okay.
The what you're left with after you've been chewed up and spit out by Johnette Napolitano.
They're not really sore, but they certainly swollen.
Yeah, David, you see?
Yeah.
Hey, listen to this.
Huh?
You hear that?
I need some.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got some in my house. Someone else next to me.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I come here every day.
Please don't make
I don't see every day.
Yeah,
don't
I
make
know.
friends, David.
Yeah.
Who's your counsel? I can give it to him.
Oh yeah, it's Michelle.
Michelle?
Yeah.
That's right.
If she knows him.
Isn't this a gas?
Yeah, I think she would. Yeah.
These guys are great. David's a good dude,
Yeah,
and Trixie, they're really good people.
David Carter.
And David's very, very, very
Cool,
smart.
thank you.
How big you? What you need to do is take one in the morning and one in noon.
Apparently not smart enough to get away from this lady, though.
Right.
Yeah, just be everywhere you go.
Yeah.
And then when you go through,
You gotta-
just slip it down and put water in the bottle. Because if you want to do it,
Can you guys hear this?
Yeah. It's amazing the way you can feel it come on. You know, I can feel my legs shrink when I fucking do it.
Shit, I gotta go in there and dose, man. I don't want to. But if I don't, oh well, we know what that'll do. I'll have a needle hole in my arm, and I don't want to do that. I remember this guy telling me, we can't dose you tonight. We don't have a nurse. And I was like, okay. So I waited the next day. And then he goes, we can't dose you tonight. We don't have a nurse. And I was like, okay. Now I'm starting to get really sick. I mean, really sick. But I'm still like, okay, I just got to wait until 5 in the morning, and they'll have another nurse. And I go there, and they don't have a nurse. And I'm just freaking out, man. I mean, I was green. I was like turning. It's like Dave Mustaine when we were touring and they were touring, and I saw him in the same hotel, and we were like, he knew what I was thinking, I knew what he was thinking, and we're both green, and you got to figure something out, you know. But this guy here was asking me after 3 days. He's going, I know you don't feel good, I know you're sick, but don't let that play on your head. And I was like, fuck you, man. I was like, I don't give a fuck what you say. You know, you don't know. You know, if you have a counselor that's never been addicted to opiates or heroin, they have nothing to talk to me about. Nothing. I don't want to talk to them about textbook shit, you know? And this guy's telling me, don't give in, man. I was like, fuck you, man. I was like, I am not going to go through a kick like that ever again until when I finally got a correct mind together and knew that I don't want this anymore, and I want to, get down on the methadone and get titrate so low that I get away from it, and then done with everything. But if something should happen where that happens, don't think I'm gonna go put myself through some fucking hellacious pain because you guys can't get it together to have a nurse. You're supposed to be 24 hours also. But because I remember when I was a kid, and my dad, he had a heart problem, and he would come home And the last thing he wanted to do was socialize with his kid and talk, because he was having a lot of issues with his health. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I do now. And I'll be damned because, you know, it was very hard to have a relationship with him. And the thing is that when Danny was a kid, my son, I was like, I'll be damned if I ever show him anything but the attention he deserves for being born. And I know a lot of people would say that's bullshit, but it's not. It's like, because my kid has never seen me messed up, ever. He's never seen me high, ever. And his mom has told him stories and stuff, and he's like, well, I don't know, because I've never seen him. Because I always cared enough never to be that way in front of him. And if, you know, but I also I would never be sick in front of him, like kicking and stuff. That was terrible, you know. And if, you know, if I had to do something to dose myself because of the place not having it, so be it, man, you know. But there's a difference between dosing yourself and getting fucked up and getting high. And I never even was like that. Like, you know, it's just never appealing to me. I had a friend, a really good friend, who's dead now, of course, but his name was Nicky, and we used to get high together. And every time he would use, as soon as he would push the plunger down, his head would go down, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, hey, Nick, we're going to have a great time now, I can tell, you know? I never wanted to be like that. I mean, that's not what I was trying to do. Like, some people do it because they want to check out, maybe not permanently, but usually by sooner or later they do go permanently. But at least for them, they just don't want to. All drugs are indicative of your personality. Like, you know, people that do blow, they want to shake their booty all across the dance floor and talk to the, you know, like Frank Zappa said, find her finer, walk up behind her, rap like a mummy till you finally unwind her. That's a great song. That's like Dynamo Hum. God, Zappa was so good. He was the best. He was the fucking best. Man, I've seen him so many times. When he died, it just blew me away. Him, Bowie, all those guys are Lou Reed. They're all gone. But, yeah, Zappa, what great songs, man. Dynamo Hum. I done spent 3 hours and I ain't got a crumb from the dynamo hum. Well, there's a spot that gets me hot. And then they got the black chicks sing, but you ain't been to it, no. Man, he was such an unbelievable arranger. And I remember I seen him so many times, and then when I see him with Steve Vai, and Zappa, well, he still played lead. I thought he was a great lead player. Sloppy, but still great. But like Inca Roads and stuff like that, Pajama People, a great player. But Steve was amazing. And then when I came out here, I got to jam with him, with Steve, because I don't know if I told this story. It's probably beaten to the ground, but I was staying with this girl, and wait, how did that happen again? Oh yeah, I was staying with this girl. She worked for Warner Brothers, and she asked me, because the Alice Cooper thing, I came out here to play with Alice, and that fell through because he had to go to the Benny Ford Clinic because he was freebasing. Anyways, she asked me, hey, would you want to try out for a band? Like, they're really a big band, and I can't tell you who they are, though. And I was like, this is my first exposure to, like, Valley Girls. And I was like, what do you mean you can't tell me? And, like, all I had to do was ask her twice. That's really all you have to do with a girl. And I go, come on, tell me who it is. She goes, no, I can't. I go, come on. She goes, okay. And she goes, well, David Lee Roth is leaving Van Halen, and he's doing his own band. And I was like, really? She goes, yeah. And I go, who's in the band? She goes, well, Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan. And I was like, Billy Sheehan from Tallis? That was a great bass player. He had a vibrato on his bass. She goes, yes. So I got the audition set up, and I go there, and it was just bizarre. But man, he was really nice. So Steve Vai was the nicest. He told me, he comes out, and there's all these kids. This is when I think I told everybody this already. This is when I found out what Hollywood was really about. little by little, but this was one of the first exposures to the real bullshit. Because here's all these guys lined up around the block of SIR Studios that was on Santa Monica and Vine. That's where they were doing the auditions. And they're all there with their stick bag and their cymbal bag and their pedal, like, you know, the things drummers bring. I didn't bring anything. I didn't even bring sticks. So I walk in and Steve High heard the commotion because this girl that was marking the names off, she was like, "You can't just like walk up here and like just go for the light." Like, and I was like, "Is something wrong with this girl? She's spastic or something." You know, the Valley girl. She goes, "You just can't do that. Like, who do you think you are?" And then Steve I came out, and he goes, "What's your name?" And I told him, and he goes, "Oh, you came from the Alice camp." And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Oh, that's a shame about Alice going in this way." And he goes, "Well, listen, from professional courtesy, I just want to tell you, we already have a drummer." And this is when I found out what Hollywood was about. I go, "So what's all these guys doing around the block with their gear and stuff, waiting to audition?" He goes, "Oh, that's for MTV." And I was like, "What? But shouldn't you tell?" And then I was like, "Wow." But anyways, he goes, "If you're going to play with Alice, you're probably a decent drummer. Want to come in and jam it?" I was like, "Hell yeah." So I went in and jammed with them for like 2 hours. It was so fun. A great guitar player. And he's a great guy, and he's a vegetarian. He doesn't do drugs. I have a lot of respect for people like that. I don't think doing drugs is cool. It's like, it's something that happened. And I a lot of times in the past, I was always blaming it on Johnette and having to anesthetize myself for her. And now I still blame it on her. You know? Because it was just hell. It was really hell. It's this kind of person that you say blacks, they say white. You say, okay, white, and they go, fuck you! Like they just don't want, you know? There's no winning. There's no, not even winning. There's no coexist. It's just insane. It's like I felt saying, why do you want me in this band, man? Because she wouldn't let me go. Like, you know, it's crazy. So what's up?
I dosed.
Do you dosed?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go in and do it. What's David doing?
You dosing.
You see that girl said that about his leg?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So if she notices, he's got to see the doctor.
Yeah, I know.
His legs are swollen, man. That's not good.
Uh-uh.
It's not good at all.
No, it's not. It's a long time.
And he thinks, he goes, oh, my legs are always swollen. No, they're not.
No, not like that.
I think we know each other long enough to know.
Uh-huh.
David, and they're red.
Yeah, I know.
He's got to go to the doctor, man. He could have an infection.
I know.
I don't know why these assholes don't say something to him. They're supposed to be doctors here.
Yeah, I know.
They make such a big deal about not dosing us if there's not a RN here or something, but they can't, like, say something to David. Mm-hmm. I was going to ask him. I was going to say, hey, could you look at his... Maybe I will. I'll be back. I got to go dose anyways. I'm going to ask them, why don't you look at my friend's legs, man? Fucking shit. I'll be back. See ya. Okay. I'll be right back. Talk to the people.
Okay. Hey, people.
That's Trixie Delight. Trixie Deluxe.
Hey, you buddy. Feel better now. There's dosing. Who's I talking to? That was right. hot. It's hot. Hot in here. It's nice to eat oatmeal. Oatmeal. Oh, wow.
Is that
What,
asshole
David?
park?
Huh?
Yeah. Is that a parking guy? Asshole
I don't know.
motherfucker. You know they keep all their parking the ticket people.
Uh-huh.
They keep all their cars on mission right there.
Oh, yeah?
You know when we come here, I see them all the time. I want to throw a bag of shit over the fucking fence.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, gas them
Yeah. Well,
like in the joint. You know why not? Piece of shit.
what's David?
You know what I told one of the parking guys?
Huh.
I go, "How does it feel to be a misery spreader?"
Yeah, really.
And he goes, "Feels pretty good." And I was like, "I bet it does." Look, David can't leave these things in here. This is evidence. We throw it out here. It goes with the methadone clinic.
Yeah.
I want to see some. I want to see my. I want to play my drums. Play my
30
drums.
pounds.
What's David doing?
He's coming right now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Gotta get it out.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Nothing.
Okay, so you want to go by my place? What, did the lady talk to you?
Mm-hmm.
What'd she say?
Oh, no, the one about the legs, no, she didn't.
Why not?
I didn't see her.
Why did she tell him you want to see the doctor?
Oh, she did. Oh,
Why didn't you tell him, David?
I didn't think about it. I know what it is. I mean, I just need some water pills.
Well,
Or I need to go in and have a physical. Do I need?
well, yeah.
I mean, that's what she's going to tell me. I mean, she doesn't know anything about what's causing it any more than I do.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe if you hear from her though that you need to go in.
No, I know I do.
You want me to take you there?
Not today. I mean, I don't need to go in today. I mean, it's not.
Well, yeah, but that means never.
What do you think, Gracie?
I think that's stupid
You should go.
for somebody so smart. I mean, what about the urgent care?
Oh, those places are fucking.
What about that one? You know which one? Well, I don't know.
No, the only thing I could do, the best thing to do would be go to the emergency room at California Hospital, I imagine. Or try to go to your doctor. I'll do that. I'll just go to Trixie's doctor. He can get, because he's got a walk-in thing I can go to.
When?
What day is it? Thursday?
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
All right, I'll take you there.
All right.
Everybody heard that. I hold you to it.
Yeah.
So, what was I saying? I was gonna say, oh yeah. So, anyways, you know, some of the people that checked out this stream are from the Captain Contents thing, right? And I was thinking about, you know, he's got a lot of crazy people, everything, right? They think he's got crazy people. They should meet some of our friends.
Yeah, really.
How about the whole building at 625?
Yeah,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, Jesus. The ones you say are still, yeah, fucking bones. Yeah.
Bone? He's a scary dude.
Yeah, he's real scared.
He really is scary. I
Mhm.
mean, you could tell he's like no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the only reason he was even decent to us, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a weird dude, man. You know?
Yeah, but one day he's fucking, you know, one day he's totally normal, next day he's fucking grouchy.
Not the grouchy ain't the word. That's like calling Johnette difficult.
Yeah, right.
That's the industry's, signal for raving fucking cunt, right?
Yeah, right, yeah. Yeah, he's a difficult to work with, right.
Isn't that something? I mean, that's what I'm saying though about when we're talking about in this country, right?
Mhm.
Like, you know, the whole thing, the attention and racism, nothing will be right until the bandage is ripped off and the ugliness is confronted.
Yeah.
It's like, it's indicative in everything in American society. Like calling somebody difficult when you really want to speak the truth.
Yeah.
Why are you watering it down? Why are you using a word that's softer and nicer?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, why don't you say what it really is? Usually it's because there's a monetary prize at the end.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to fucking alienate the person.
Correct.
Yeah, because that's going to be who's signing the check.
Because I'll tell you, man, we went through more lawyers, I mean, one after another, managers, one after another, and they were never good enough. And me and Jim were always like, why? And she was always a reason she had, you know. And there was more lawyers, I mean, all of them. David Geffen was the nicest guy to us, and oh God, I can't even think about that whole debacle. You know, him giving us like $40,000 because we couldn't sign with him because we filed bankruptcy to get off of IRS.
Yeah.
Great idea by our manager. Worst idea in the world. I remember when we finally got to court, it was like 2 years, and we couldn't do nothing, record or nothing. And when we finally got there, it was faster than a speeding ticket. And I was like, I told our manager, I go, did we win or lose? He goes, we'll talk about that at lunch. And I was like, oh, we lost. And, you know, everybody was laughing at us anyways. They go, so you're going to try to get off of bankruptcy with Miles Copeland. They're like, do you know who his dad is? I was like, I don't know, Miles Copeland Sr.? They're like, as a matter of fact, yeah. They're like, do you know what Miles Copeland Sr. is? I'm like, I don't know. He's Miles. He does being Miles Copeland Sr. And then they go, no, he's one of the co-founders of the OSA or something.
OSS, yeah.
Yeah, something that was the predecessor of the CIA.
Right, yeah.
Right. And they're like, you know, he's got every judge in his pocket. and you guys are going to go up against that. And I was thinking, why didn't our manager tell us that? You know?
You probably didn't know, or he didn't really.
No, he knew.
Oh, he did, huh?
Yeah, because Dave, at the time, the manager, he was all into this shit, this thing called Alliance for Survival, and his claim to fame was sitting on top of the San Onofre nuclear reactor.
Oh, that's cool. But you had an activist fucking lawyer. That's not good. That's not
Manager.
a good mix. Manager.
Yeah, that's
Not a good mix.
No, not at all. Sitting on top of the big two nipples, you know, that look like two tits.
Yeah, on the San Onofre. I mean, someone had a.
They're gone.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So
they didn't tear it down, did they? I mean, it's still there, right?
I don't know. I don't think it's there.
It's just mothballed. I mean, they just turned it off
Well, how does that work?
because they've got so much fucking nuclear waste stored up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How does that work? They just turn their backs on it and walk away,
Yeah.
and just
That's why I think that nuclear energy is a stupid way to boil water.
Well, I think even
Stupid and expensive way to boil water.
but I think it's even stupider once it's running to turn it off and walk away.
Well, yeah. Well, what it is, they turn it off because they don't have any place to put the nuclear waste. So there's all this mid-level nuclear waste there that's being stored in a swimming pool.
You remember the movie China Syndrome with Jack Lemmon?
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
You know, that's what I didn't even really know about the dangers of that shit, right? And I remember seeing that movie, and I remember asking my dad, I go, could that really happen? And he goes, not only can it has. And I was like, I didn't really know. And I remember when Chernobyl happened, man. That was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And the Fukushima thing, remember that?
Yeah.
And they say there's still effects of that going on.
Oh, Fukushima is still, yeah.
What was that all about?
Well, I mean, the thing melted down. It was worse than Chernobyl, actually, but they don't want to tell you that. Yeah.
When it melts down, what could the core go through the Earth?
Well, I don't think it would make it all the way through, but it could theoretically bore all the way through to the center of the Earth. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Not maybe the other side, but how far down would it go?
Down to the center, where at that point all the radioactive metals would be plasma anyway. It would be liquid.
Like miles?
Oh yeah, like 40 miles down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the crust of the Earth is like 40 miles thick.
And what's after the crust? The mantle or something?
Yeah. The mantle, the crust, and you have there's all these there's like the inner crust. Then before you get to the core, you know, which is just like a spinning fucking super compressed plasma energy. You know,
Isn't it like what creates magnetism or something?
Yeah, it's iron ore and nickel down in the center of the Earth.
Spinning,
right?
Wow, what a trip!
Thank God it spins. If it didn't spin, we wouldn't have the Van Allen bells.
Did you hear about that guy, the hole, Mel's hole?
Oh, Mel's hole, yeah, it turned out it was all bullshit, but yeah.
Mel's hole?
Yeah, the bottomless pit on his property, right?
Right, the one that you can't see it from the Google Earth because it's blurred out.
Yeah.
Because it's UFO stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look at those palm trees, man. I never knew that palm trees weren't indicative to the,
Indigenous, yeah.
Yeah, indigenous to the...
Yeah, I didn't know that either until,
They're not indigenous here. They brought them here.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't know that. But they could grow here, right?
Yeah, they're perfect climate for them, yeah.
Could poppies grow here?
Oh, poppies grow any place.
Really?
Yeah, you can grow poppies in Idaho.
Really?
Yeah.
How hard is it to
They're an easy plant to grow. I mean,
how hard is it to do the do? You know?
Oh well, it's easy if you can be real lazy and just cut the whole plant down and use poppy straw.
And what? Just smoke it?
Well, you boil it in a hydrous ammonia, and then that's what turns it into
opium.
Opium, yeah.
And then after opium is
then you boil it again and add hydrous ammonia, and you eventually get
morphine.
Morphine, yeah, heroin, yeah.
And then heroin's after morphine, right?
Right.
Wow. It's a shame we live in a country that is so hell bent on you not feeling good. It's a crime to want to feel good.
And now they're going back. Now they want to have the drug war back again because.
Really?
Yeah, because because the quality of the drugs has gone down so much that people are fucking dying from the crappy drugs out there, not realizing that you can't just you have to legalize the thing completely. You can't just legalize weed, and then and then turn a blind eye to fucking heroin addiction, you know, to the heroin market. Because what they did is now the cops rule the fucking market completely. The cops and fucking intelligence agencies, they don't care what they put out there. They would rather put poison and shit out in the streets.
What do you mean they rule the?
They can totally control the drug market. Fucking an order of criminal fucking cops.
Right. So I mean, but it's not heroin. It's all fentanyl.
That's what I mean. That's for some reason they want to have fentanyl. They want to have fentanyl dope for economic reasons, but also because
It kills people.
Because it's killing people. Yeah, and they're putting other shit in there now that's fucking even worse. It's fucking
Unbelievable.
You know, in combinations. I mean, and there's no reason why they'd fucking be putting fucking fentanyl and speed. You know, I mean, that's,
what country still has heroin?
There's no country that I know of that has it. Maybe fucking Afghanistan.
Really?
I imagine up in the fucking, you know, if you're up in the Sierra, fucking like, you know, like Durango or fucking Michoacan or fucking Oaxaca, you can probably get pure heroin.
I don't know about that.
Well, I mean, that's if you're right there by the field. I mean, that's where it's grown and made. I mean,
But, like Sinaloa?
yeah, Sinaloa, fucking.
Yeah, but I got a friend that lives there. But the thing is that they're not producing it because they find that it's cheaper to take the Chinese fentanyl and mix it with some garbage, whatever, coffee or shoe polish or something, and call it black tar. And the bad thing about that is that, like I said, not just with the parking tickets and stuff, but Americans have no unity. People will still buy that shit, and they keep buying it.
Hello?
I ain't buying that shit. I used to play with this band in Nashville, Guilt. A band called Guilt. Steve Earle produced it, and the bass player. It was a great band, man. Great guys, all casualties. Scott, the bass player, had a 1971 Monte Carlo with a 455 in it, or 454. He would go flying in it, going, "Man, can't you see we're on a drug run?" And he'd be doing like 90, man, down this place called, what was it called? Joe Johnston Parkway. That was the projects. And he'd go, "We got to get us some hillbilly hair on." You know, it was like Oxycontins and shit. They didn't have any, like. And then when we came out here and played with Dokken. Yeah, what a mismatch. This band was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like, no, this was a good band, man. It was a band called Guilt. It was like Sisters of Mercy meet like Pink Floyd, and like I don't know, man. It was a little heavier, but anyways, every time. Yeah, David, look, show them, David. He left the van door open. So, anyways, we're playing with Docket and Scott. We burned down the Magic Castle Hotel. I mean, on Franklin, because Scott or somebody left a cigarette burning when we went to the gig. And when we got back, oh my God, there's all these fire engines, and just something told me we have something to do with this. And as soon as we got out of the van, all of the eyes were looking at us. I was like, oh yeah, we did. And then they came up to us and started saying, and then the manager, Mike Lambo, we just said, talk to Mike. And oh my God, the whole, it was just a motel. It was the Magic Castle Motel next to the Magic Castle. And it burned like one whole wing. And they were like, when did you guys leave exactly? What time? And I was just like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just tell them you're not talking about anything. You know? Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? You want me to take you to your house?
What do you want to do?
It's up to you.
You got to go to the bank, Trixie.
Oh, to the bank?
Which bank?
You got
Which
your,
bank?
you got your card with you, right?
Talk to me. Which bank?
You want to go 4th Street or you want to go to the one on...
Or, yeah, Central, it doesn't matter.
yeah, 8th and Central.
What are we, robbing a bank?
Yeah, go to 8th and Central.
Was there a better bank to rob?
That's, yeah.
Hand him a note.
Yeah, and...
I never knew you could rob a bank with a note. I just can't wait to try it.
But they...
Oh, you know what I was going to tell you? That guy I met that I told you that I'm freaking out over?
Yeah.
He's a total Daryl, too.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Daryl meets Lou. The worst of nightmares. Yeah. Yeah. Just like... He keeps telling me, look at my eyes. When I talk to people, look at my eyes. And I'm thinking, I don't want to look at your eyes because what you're saying is such outlandish bullshit and you're just lying one lie after another that I cannot feign interest in your bullshit. I'm going to have to call you on it, and I don't want to do that. So I look away. But anyways, he's like, just lying one lie after another. I'm like, oh my God, man, what did I get myself into? Just talking to this guy. I don't like to talk to people. That's why when I'm playing, I don't like to talk to somebody. I'm trying to make money. And this guy, and he's talking while I'm playing. I can see his lips moving. And that's telling me that he's telling me that I need to stop to hear what he has to say. Right? Mm-hmm. While there's people around and I'm playing and they're watching. Right? But I should stop because he's got to say something to me.
Yeah, right. That's a bad fucking sign.
Just stupid. Anyways. And then one guy says, oh no, he says to me, it's him. Hey, you seen that guy in the pickup truck that plays the drums? And I'm like, I've already heard about this guy. It's old news, right? Some brother with a drum set in the back of his pickup truck or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, to you, it's the same thing. To me, it's not at all. Because I'm not playing a drum set. I'm playing a drum concoction. You know what I mean?
Right.
When people see it, they think it's like a washing machine. And that's the cool thing about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a cajon with heads and everything. Where am I going?
Oh.
Are you guys going to talk to me?
Oh, Trixie. Central. Yeah, East and Central. Yeah, we can get...
What are you talking about? That fucking Wells Fargo?
Yeah. Or 4th, and you want to go to 4th Street?
Yeah, I love these people that drive, want to cut me off and get real heavy. I feel like telling them, check this out, man. I pull up to them and I go, I have no insurance. Nothing. And if I had a car like yours and I saw something like mine, I would go the other way. I wouldn't, try to beat me or show me or teach me a lesson. I'd want to get the fuck away.
Yeah, right.
Because guess what? If I hit you, do you know what's going to happen? You think the cops are going to come here, but they're not. Because they don't come for accidents.
Yeah, unless it's somebody dead, right?
Right, unless somebody's dead. Number two, you're going to think that somebody's going to come spank me and make me pay. They're not. They're not. I might get a couple letters from fucking DMV or something, but ultimately, you're going to eat it. Mm-hmm. So you really shouldn't do that,
Yeah, right. People don't think about things in the long term and situation anymore. Now everything's about, you gotta fucking own them libs and fucking own the opposition.
Right, and you see all these fucking people in these Priuses, right? Mm-hmm. They think they're doing something for the environment, so that gives them the right to drive like they think they're indie drivers. Mm-hmm. I just noticed that with the Priuses all over the place. And I'm like, motherfucker.
I think it's because it doesn't make any noise, too.
Yeah, that's just... And they're always like some fucking pencil neck
they
fucking...
do accelerate, quick. I mean, electric engines
Well, no kidding.
Well.
An electric motor's always going to beat a internal combustion engine any day. Anybody that doesn't know that is stupid. I knew that when I was a little kid from the slot cars, Mm-hmm. Slot cars, as soon as you hit the controller, the things would spin out of control. Yeah. Electric motor's faster than any combustion engine. I knew that when Tesla came out. I knew they would be ungodly fast. I've never seen one really take off. because it seems like most of the people that can afford to buy one or buy one are pretty, you know.
Tesla's fucking. I hate the interiors of those.
I never even see the inside. I just know I see a lot of them here. Who told me that? They said, I said, well, he's doing pretty good because every other car I see is a Tesla. They said that's only because they're made here in California. Did you say that?
I don't think I said that. But
somebody told me that. They said they're not like that in every other state.
No, they aren't. They aren't. You know, most places don't buy electric cars.
There's sure a lot of them here, man.
You could not have an electric car.
There's sure a lot of them here.
I like hybrids. I wouldn't mind seeing a diesel hybrid. That would be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, because that way you get, your car's gonna last longer.
When we pull up in the bank parking lot, I'm going to look at the chats and see who's saying it so we can talk to some people, answer some people. I'm sure there's some people that want to kill me or something. Look at that. You know when they were building that fucking building? You know what, hey, David, you know when they were building the Metropolitan Detention Center?
Yeah.
You know, for the feds? You know that was supposed to be for the sheriffs, right?
No, I didn't know. You mean the MDC? I knew they were going to build the Twin Towers was going to be for the feds, but then the feds refused to take fucking possession of it.
Right, but that was going to be for the sheriffs, and the feds aced them out of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man, they hate them. The sheriffs hate them.
Yeah, that
was supposed to be the new jail.
Yeah, that's nice in there too. I mean, relatively. I mean,
I've never had the pleasure.
Yeah, it's like
I haven't robbed a railway car or anything.
they got fucking.
That's what you have to do to get fed.
Like smuggle, yeah.
Anyways, or a bank. But anyways, well, I am thinking about giving a note to one of those. Look at this fucking cop doing a movie. You know, when they get movie duty, that's after their.
Oh, they love that.
Yeah, they get paid all this money, right? They sit on their fat ass on their bikes.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was driving by with my bike, this cop looks at me, and you can tell he wanted to go after me so bad, but he had to sit his little position. That's like, I already told the story about running from Pershing Square. That was really funny, though. The detective being on one end of the platform, him on the other, and the train coming, and I jump on, and then he jumps on, and I jump off, he jumps off, then I jump on, and the doors close. And then when they drive by, the train goes by him. I didn't know what to do. Giving the figure is so fucking pedestrian, you know?
Yeah, right.
So I stuck my tongue out at him like a kid, like an idiot. So then when I eventually got caught, the guy goes, what was sticking your tongue out at my partner? What's that about? I was like, I felt like such an idiot. I was like, well, I didn't know what else to do. It's just stupid. I should have got off the train at the very next stop and I wouldn't have been busted.
Yeah,
but I wanted to get back to Hollywood so bad and get into my apartment and fix, you know? And then I remember when the cops come on and I got a mouthful of balloons, and which one pops out? Not a green or a dark blue to match the floor, but a fucking orange one, you know? And it's like bing, 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 bouncing down the floor.
So how were they on to you right away? I mean,
because there was a detective that was in a store and he was looking out of the window and he saw the whole buy. But see, I saw him seeing me at the very end, and I was like, "Oh, that's a detective." I just knew it, you know. And sure enough, when I left the guy I copped it from, he comes out of the store, and you know he's trying to play it cool and walk nonchalantly, right? And then when I start speeding up my steps, so does he. So I'm like, okay, he's a cop. So then I start trotting. He's trotting. Then that's it. It's on, right? So I'm running, and I'm running down 5th. And I get to Pershing Square, and I run down into the station, right? And I hop the turnstile, and then I'm at the end of the platform, and I'm like, oh, fuck, man. You know, there was really nowhere else to go. And so he was just got down when I was at the end of the platform, but then a train came, and it stopped, and he was at the end. And that's how I told you I knew he was a cop for sure, because he's trying to act nonchalant. He leans up against one of the pillars, like this, and exposes his gun and his badge and everything. And then he notices and goes, and puts his arm down.
Oh,
but then he knows I saw it, right? So then the next thing is, we're looking at each other. He's like, is he going to get on the train? And he's looking at me, and I'm thinking, hell yeah, I'm going to get on the train. So the doors open, I jump out, and then he jumps on, then I jump off, and he jumps off. Then I jump on, and then the door's closed. And it takes off. That's why I stuck my tongue out. But then at Wilshire, I should have got off at the next stop. Like, what's the next stop? Civic?
Yeah.
Should have got off there. But
you got off and got on a bus or something.
Yeah, but I fucking wanted to get home. So by the time I got to Wilshire and Western,
they put the car in, they'd already fucking...
They flooded the whole fucking car. And they're just such idiots, man. They're walking like they're trying to act like they're just doing their everyday beat. Like, yeah, okay, 12 of you on a car where there's only 2 people, being another guy. And then he comes up to me and goes, you got a ticket? I go, is that really what you want? And he goes, no, stand up. And I was like, yeah, I figured. And then he goes, then the detective came in. Not the guy, though, not the guy that ran after me. It was another guy. Dad, I told you about that. It was the weirdest thing. He kept asking me, how do you prepare it? How do you fix? Like, he wanted to know, like, step by step, specifically, and, like, really, really detailed. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, how big of a cotton? How do you make the cotton? How do you do it and keep it sterile? How do you... all this stuff. And I was like, what is this guy doing? Is he going to go fucking do dope himself? Mm-hmm. I had no idea. But that's the first time I ever saw, like, down in the tube, they got... There's, like... these aluminum things on the wall. Did you ever see like an aluminum panel? It's like a substation. The detective took me out onto the platform, and he puts a key in it and opens it up and brings it down, and it's computers and everything. Mm-hmm. And he's running my name, and I was like, well, that's a nice you. And I told you about that. That's why he told me you could go. Because I told him I had a hospital bed waiting for me at American Hospital, but it's not. You believe that?
Really, gave it back to you. That's
he goes,
cool.
I think you're going to need this more than our evidence room. You paid for it. He goes, I imagine. I mean, it was the strangest thing, man.
Well, that's cool. He knew what was up.
Yeah, it was the strange. He goes, if this was crack or anything else, you'd be arrested. And I was thinking to myself, I was glad that he felt that way, but I was thinking, that's really wrong because... Okay, maybe cocaine or crack or whatever isn't physically addictive like heroin, but it's in your mind, and if it's in your mind, it's in your body. It's all in the same container.
Right, yeah.
So why be biased or, I mean, I don't think people realize that. See, these are the kind of people we have calling shots on drugs. I was saying that...
People who know nothing about drugs.
Right, I was saying that when you went in to dose, before I went in, I was telling everyone out there, I was saying... that I would never, ever have a counselor that was textbook and not somebody who was an ex-addict. I'm 8th Street. You're at 8th. I'll turn down Olympic. And then I'll take it to Central. Okay? So anyways, you know what I'm saying, though? You know Trixie. You remember? Like Elijah was cool.
Yeah.
Because he was an ex-addict. But then again...
Then you can have the kind of ex-addicts that you think that they're going to...
That's different. Like you're talking about the guys like where we're at now. Those they're like punks. I got to make a U-turn.
Yeah, the ones you fucking.
Yeah, they're like punks. They're like the ones that they want to believe they're cops now. Like they're more than a cop. They're cops. That's why I always go in there and I use my big mouth and I'm like, they're like. I'm like, are we dosing today? You got a nurse? I go, I just need to know, am I dosing or fixing today?
Yeah.
I just need to know, because I got to call my guy. They really,
make some changes to the budget, right.
They really get pissed off, man. They're like, hey, you don't have to do that, man. Just wait, I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, those guys, they want to believe they're cops, right?
Yeah.
But, like, Elijah wasn't like that. But then the bad thing about Elijah was I believe that he left there because of something not good.
Like he fell out.
Yeah, like he fell back into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he was the greatest, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was a great rugby guy.
Nothing like a big, tall, handsome gay Jew, ex-addict, or going to be an addict still or whatever. He was a great guy. I thought he was a great guy. He was, wasn't he?
He was. when Orrin was there and Orrin was up. I didn't like Orrin when I first fucking had him as a counselor.
I didn't like Orrin either, but you know what? But because he was your counselor, and I talked to him once in a while, he was, even if you didn't like the guy, you had to respect his intelligence.
Yeah, I started to really like Orrin.
And his discipline.
Yeah, I said that if I fucking ever come to power, I'm gonna make him my barrier, my fucking.
I thought, and then
I'm making my Himmler.
I really got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, I make him the head of the secret police.
He didn't take shit from anybody.
He'd be a great secret policeman.
He was. I wanted to get him a job at Beit Shuva. You know, but I didn't know what happened. He's not there anymore.
No, he went. Where did he go? He went to a place. His main thing was he wanted to counsel children.
He was a smart guy.
Yeah, he was. He went to Pepperdine, but I mean, outside
why
of
is that bad or good? I don't know.
It's bad. Everyone that goes to Pepperdine's kind of stupid. I mean,
they're stupid?
They come from privilege.
Is that right?
Yeah, they're privileged people they're smarter than your average person who went to USC, probably.
Did you know Patrick Morrison?
No,
Trixie, you knew him, right?
Who?
Patrick Morrison.
Who's that?
He was some guy that played guitar, but he was like a tranny on the down low. You didn't know him? He was always in 5100 and stuff, you know? But he was a good guitar player. I'm going through a red light right now, and there's cops behind this bus, but they didn't see it. Oh, whatever. Anyways, so I heard died, man. I heard he slipped in the shower and smashed his head.
What? Really?
Slipped in the shower and like cracked his melon.
Oh my god.
That sucks.
How old was he?
Not that old, man. Like 36.
Oh my lord.
And he was a good guitar player. I played with him a few times. I just remember because he had this song, something about some girl from Pepperdine or something, you know? And I didn't even know what Pepperdine was.
It's there in Malibu.
Yeah, I know now because when we went with Concrete Blonde, this was before that. When we toured and we were taking the freeway, I'd always see Pepperdine because I guess it's going out of town or something.
Yeah.
You know, and they have that like in plants. It says Pepperdine and like plants or foliage on the side of the Malibu Mountains or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess it's some expensive place.
Yeah, it's a real expensive private college. Yeah.
What's the difference? Oh, okay.
Mainly business.
Oh, wait a minute. UCLA is not private?
No, that's a state school.
So how, if it's a state school, how can they charge all that money?
Because it's a very competitive, very top flight state school, and they still don't charge that much compared to other colleges.
How much does UCLA charge?
Well, when I was there, it was like $2,500 a semester, but now I guess it's probably over $6,000 a semester.
And that's cheap?
That's real cheap for a top level state school that's almost Ivy League.
And there's 2 semesters in a year?
Yeah.
So it's like $12,000 for one?
1 year, yeah.
For how many courses?
3 on 7th Street?
But that's as many as you can take. Most people don't want to take more than 12. I took 18 credits once, and they thought that was just a fucking insane amount. And it was. I was busy, but I wasn't that bad for
Hey,
it.
there's the hotel, the Cecil, where that girl...
Yeah, where she died up in the fucking...
She got killed in the water tanks.
Yeah.
Every time I pass by here, I always say a prayer for her. You know that? Her name was Elisa Lam.
Yeah.
She's a Asian girl. So sad, man. So fucking sad. And I watched this whole thing on them. I stayed in the Cecil many times when I was
I lived there for like 3 months.
when I was all fucked up doing drugs. And man, that place is nothing but evil. It's totally evil.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Yeah. I mean, you think that the Roslyn and the Frontier are evil. The Cecil's evil. You know? And
You think so? You think Cecil's worse?
yes, I do. Because they always were under like construction.
Uh-huh.
They always had some like new investor that was going to turn it into, you know, this or that, right? And it was just, I don't know, things under construction that have people there always are really weird, you know? And did you see the thing on her where they were watching her jump in the elevator and they said she was crazy and off her meds? She wasn't off her meds. She wasn't crazy. And then all these idiots trying to make she's doing a code with the push buttons of the elevator. No, she's not. She's scared.
Yeah,
there's if you watch the video, she's scared. There's somebody pursuing her, obviously.
Yeah, I know so too, yeah.
And then they said that she came out, and to get on the roof, she went on the fire escape, which is on the front of the building, which is on Main Street, which you would not do. I mean, unless, of course, somebody was pursuing you to kill you.
Yeah.
But, and then the guy that found her, the maintenance man, he changed his story.
Mm-hmm.
He said that the latch to the... Can you imagine that, man? All the people that were staying there said the water tasted funny.
Oh my God, they're drinking Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, because she was in there, in the water reservoir on the roof. And he said that the hatch was closed. Mm-hmm. Now there is no way, because the tank is like, I don't know, like 50 feet tall or something. Mm-hmm. And so but the water was only up to like 15 feet deep.
Oh, really?
But right. So when she was in the water, there's no way she could have reached up there and closed the lid. You understand?
Yeah.
Because it's like 50 feet. She's down like 25 feet down from that. Mm-hmm. So somebody had to close it. Mm-hmm. You get it? Mm-hmm. And then he changed his story and said, "Oh no, I forgot it was open." Yeah, it's bullshit, man. That poor girl. I feel, when I think about that, that's when I was saying to you that down here, it's really, really not a place for a woman,
no, it's not.
A female to try to
live at all. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, if I ever see guys like trying to, take advantage of girls down here, because we spend a lot of time down here, man, and I see it. I always make it known. Like even if I don't jump in, I make it known that they're being watched. Mm-hmm. That they're not going to do something and nobody's going to not see it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, down here, if a girl screamed for help, the guys that would come would probably jump in and join in rather than help. Yep. Mm-hmm. And that makes me sick. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just wrong.
Yeah, it'd be so selfish that I can.
Well, it's just,
that just amazes me. That person would be that way. Yeah. Value your freedom of dominating another person,
and it's like a lot
over that person. What are you doing to that person?
And now it's so crazy that you got to be careful. Like I'm saying that, you get some feminists will say, "Well, you still think a girl could handle herself?" And the bottom line is, sorry, but the female makeup of the bone structure and stuff is, they aren't as strong as a guy.
Yeah, they're pretty good. I could not handle myself against one or two fucking guys.
Okay, let alone a girl.
Now imagine,
okay, a 120-pound girl or something. So it's like, I don't care what they say, man. Maybe it's like being stupid or chauvinistic or but that just makes me sick, because it's like, it's the same thing, man. It's like, like tough guys in numbers.
Yeah.
That's why I keep that. That's what cracks me up, is these people think that air guns are not lethal.
Well, they didn't used to be.
They didn't used to be.
Yeah.
But the ones that I have, they're 4,500 psi, and they take.
Yeah, that's an entirely different fucking.
They take buffalo out.
That's an entirely different fucking animal.
Yeah, but these kids are still stupid on the internet. They'll show one of the air guns, like the Umarex hammer that I have, and the guy will shoot and kill a buffalo, and then in the comments it says, "Could you use that for home defense?" No, it'll kill a buffalo, but with a human, it knows not to.
Really, there's videotape of that actually killing a buffalo?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
It goes right through the... I don't like that, because I don't like that shit hunting. I don't like that.
Well,
I don't.
It's better than fucking buying your meat in the grocery store. I think it's probably less.
Well, I don't have it for that, I have it for humans.
Well, when you buy your human meat in the grocery store?
Fuck that. I got it for humans. And it's not to be a tough guy or anything. It's because I don't want to get killed.
No, I agree with you. If it wasn't for the felony thing, I'd still want a firearm then.
But look at how they've gotten now. Like, they're so stupid, they want the Second Amendment and all this and that, and they're worried about this and that. And they're talking about guns, strictly guns that have gunpowder.
Yeah,
that make,
propellant charge.
that make an explosion.
That's all regulated by the ATF.
And they're so dumb, they don't even know. And that's how dumb they are. It shouldn't even be, if they're going to monitor something, it shouldn't be by the explosion or what propels the bullet or the projectile. It should be feet per second.
Yeah, and energy delivered, right.
Right, and joules. And the thing is that the Umrex Hammer and the Air Force Texan are the strongest, most powerful air guns on the market, of which I have one of them. And the Hot Sun Blitz, that one I got is, you could saw a 2x4 in half with it because it's fully automatic. Fully automatic.
And each round carries the same fucking same powers.
Yes, it's got a regulator on it that because of it's a carbon fiber tank. You're talking about over here?
Yeah. It's not this one, but you go up past.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
There's an actual brand.
I know what you're talking about. So, anyways, yeah, the Hot Sun Blitz, it's got a carbon fiber tank, like a scuba tank, but they're smaller, and that's what holds the air. But it's got a regulator that every shot gets the same amount of, of strength.
Right.
Because that's what they didn't want, is for it to lose its power as it's,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking it would do, is it lose it as it got farther into the stream of fucking.
It doesn't happen with that, but with the Umrex Hammer, the one that they do the buffalo with, that's only a 2-shot magazine, because they figure it's for hunting. And like with hunting, when you shoot once, if you miss, the animal's going to run. You might get another shot. You might. So that's why it's a 2-shot magazine. But they also have magazines, obviously, that hold more for it on third party aftermarket. But the Hot Sun Blitz, man, that thing. When I got that, I just, the only thing I didn't like was it was only an 18. It only holds 18 rounds. But then I found out third party, they have a belt for it.
Really, they got belt-fed BB gun. Wow.
Hell yeah, man! And that.
Now, what do these rounds look like? What they look like?
You've seen them?
Oh
the
yeah.
ones. You seen the one that I had? It's lead. It's a lead 30 caliber pellet with a red point on the end.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. This is it.
I mean, it would go through you.
Oh, you had to pay for it there?
I'm not paying for anything. I'm telling him I'm taking my friend to the bank. Go fuck yourself.
Oh yeah, according to you to validate it.
Yeah, I'll be validating. I'm an invalid. Ask anybody. I'm mentally ill. I'm an invalid.
Invalid, yeah, really.
All right, go do your thing, man.
Like $78, I guess you get.
I want to see. I'm going to check out the chats and see who's on and what's going on.
Get I guess, yeah.
So where's the valley? Hey, let's show these guys where we're at. Okay. So here we are
66.
in lovely. You see where we're at? This lovely part of Los Angeles. Isn't it beautiful? Listen to that. My power steering. I put that pump on. Obviously the wrong way. No. It was a defective pump. It's a defective pump. Anyways, I got to take it back to the place on Mission. Because the guy told me, I knew he should. He told me, if anything's wrong with you, you could bring it back. And I was like, why would you tell me that? After I spent the whole day putting that thing on, pissed off. All right, let me just park, okay? Because look at this.
So what? It's not running at all, the pump, or it's
no? It's got a leak, and it's not in the line. It's in the pump. So you could buy that shit that is like temporary fix that you pour in it, but that's a waste of money.
Yeah, because eventually it'll get worse.
Especially when they're really cheap. Power steering unit. You have to understand, your power steering unit is under more pressure than your transmission.
Oh yeah, right.
Because it has to, what it does.
Right.
I mean, you try turning these wheels when it's not working at all. I mean, it's making noise now, and I'm glad at least it's still working a little. Because when it's not at all, Man, I don't even want to drive the thing.
Yeah, it's like my old Jeep. Well, yeah, the fucking.
Right, it's terrible. Terrible.
Go ahead, go here. Yeah.
I mean, I'm, you know, I'm weak, man. I'm just like a little girl now, girly guy. Do you remember that? You remember that on Saturday Night Live? He's a girly man.
Yeah.
You're a girly man. Let's see. So let's see what's going on here. What does it say? This device is too hot. Use the overheating protection setting to improve the live stream. Isn't that funny? Okay, let's see. Let's say hi to everybody. What does it say? Cosmo. All right, Cosmo. Let's see. M Hammer here. M Hammer. Is that the? Hi, M Hammer. John Jacobs. Okay. Colombian Expo. Problem Child. Harry, play us a tune. Something to make us all happy. Do everything. Take us on this. Gloom. Sing a song. Play the drums. Make it snappy. That's great. Driving on the right side. I'll drive on the right side. I don't care. I drive anywhere. Let's see. What's going on with this thing? Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's he doing?
He's going to get money out.
He is?
Yeah.
You trust him? He's going to run away, David. Trixie's going to run away.
Yeah, right.
Go get a whole bunch of dope and go to a gay bathhouse. And he's going to be wearing a chandelier when he comes back. Man, when he disappears, he comes back sometimes. It's amazing.
Oh, I know, yeah.
He comes back with the craziest shit. You remember when dumpster diving was famous?
Oh, I reckon forbid I ain't fucking.
I was going to say Trixie was never a dumpster diver. That's one thing.
Oh, he's a dumpster diver from hell.
No, he'd get it from other things, like not necessarily dumpsters. He'd just come back with stuff, man.
Yeah, I think when he gets out of the dumpster, though.
Did you ever see that guy that lives in a dumpster in New York? I think he's on the internet.
You mean like the Grouch?
No, some guy. He's on the internet. He's turned the dumpster into his place. You know, I just wonder, what does he do when they come to...
Yeah,
this guy. Who's that, Santa Claus? Oh, man, I don't want to get killed. Santa Claus. Is that Santa Claus? I thought that was Santa Claus. I mean, it looks like him. No, I mean, the outfit.
You got ridiculous fucking bitch, what's her name, fucking on that Fox News woman that fucking was going off about how that Santa Claus was actually white.
Oh, God, man. Those girls on Fox are the worst.
What's that? People.
What's that girl's name? David, you have to understand, sometimes I watch that stuff just for the sheer idiocy.
Yeah, of course.
It's entertainment.
But, you know, Fox News, they fascinate me because they get these people that were like the women were like the weather girl in like fucking Yuma, Arizona or something. You know?
No, but that girl, like, what's her name? Emily Campagna or something.
Yeah.
Emily Campagna or something. But, God, man, they're just so...
They don't even have the sense to be fucking... they don't even have the fucking...
Like you can tell you can tell like she's got these glasses she's wearing, like she probably doesn't even wear glasses.
Right, they're fake. They got fucking fake, fake lenses. Yeah.
Right, and like you know, like everything is like that. What would you say? Like everything is that pretentious and thought out, and you know, well, she's kind of pretty. Let's make her look studious. Mm-hmm. It's like one step away from a porno. Mm-hmm. You know?
Yeah, right. And the way they dress, I mean, it is like a porno.
So dumb. You know, that's the bad thing about the news in this country is like they pick a side and then they stick to that side and they don't like they don't let the other side have their say.
But the same, and the side is, it's always just, when they get right down to it, they always agree on the same thing, because there's some things that will not be talked about, some things that will not be broached. It used to be a war on drugs that you couldn't talk about back in the 80s, and
It's like, because you could tell, like, Fox, who their allegiance is,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like, and MSNBC and all that, you could tell that. And the thing is that it's so obvious that they don't give each other equal. I think we're gonna.
Bad faith, right?
I think we're gonna. I should have been charging this, man. Shit. Anyways, yeah, it's so obvious that they're biased. I mean, every one of them. That, like, who do they think really is going to listen to that shit? I mean, and take it seriously. I do it for entertainment because I think it just cracks me up. Like that one guy. What's his name? The real douche, Gutfeld.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he really thinks he's funny and clever.
And he's the exact opposite. You see what he said about homeless people. Oh my God.
What did he say?
That they could all be locked in the fucking concentration camps out in the desert.
Yeah. He thinks he's really clever.
He thought that was funny.
Yeah, I saw that, and then he goes, "Well, I don't really mean, He does all this backpedaling after he gets his dumb joke out.
And after he says what he really means. And
Right. Yeah, right. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
And then he backpedals it to make it seem like, it was just for the joke. But it's not.
It's not at all, right.
Yeah. He was, what did he say about, what did Trump say about walking over the junkie in the doorway?
Mm-hmm.
Or not junkie, it wasn't even a junkie, it was just homeless.
Right.
And now you're not supposed to say homeless, though. It's houseless.
Yeah, I didn't like the word homeless anyway.
Homeless. That means nobody loves you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not homeless, it's houseless. How about tentless?
Yeah, there you go. Well, I was so glad when you gave me that check that time. We were hard up in that.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking that, you know how nowadays, like, okay, you're pretty self-contained. Like, if you have your phone, right? You have your entertainment there too, right?
Right.
Because you could have Netflix or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have that there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have your communication there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In all essence, you have pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
so like when you have a tent and your phone, you have your little space, assuming nobody's going to breach your space.
Mm-hmm.
So here's you have your existence right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, in the future, what if they had okay, you remember? Didn't I tell you about this? I wanted to make the invention. Somebody's going to tell it about how they have tasers, right? Well, you have a little force field around you, and people have to know it's on though. So you have like a light,
Mm-hmm.
So people know to stay away from you, and it's like. From green to yellow to red, and red is obviously the most voltage, so you don't want to bump the guy at all.
Mm-hmm.
But like on the train, you have to lower it down in case you bump into people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay, but let's just say you could have this little force field around you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they make it so that it even repels the elements of nature,
Mm-hmm.
like the cold and stuff. So you're like in a capsule,
Mm-hmm.
but people can't see it, right? So you got that, and you got your cell phone. So that's when we see people just like they're sleeping, standing up, or laying on the sidewalk, and they have their force field on it. That's their home, and that's their everything. Their you know what I mean? And like it would just be like I was thinking in the future, if you just see people like no tent or anything, just laid out everywhere and anywhere, strewn about. Mm-hmm. Because they have the force field out, and you know what I mean. They're protected from, like they're in their own womb.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that'd be a trip. No more tents, and then, of course, you'd probably see people jerking off.
But you should. Unfortunately, you should be able to change it so that certain wavelengths of light couldn't even get through.
What does that say on that truck? Scum 6.
I don't know. I don't have my contacts.
Look at this.
Yeah, Scum.
What does that say?
Scum 24/7.
Did I tell you about that guy when I was in prison up north in what was that fire camp? What's the place called? Yeah, Susanville, right? There was a guy there, Scumfuck.
Scumfuck.
He was a good guy. He was a punk rocker. He had all this great music, man. He let me listen to all this stuff, you know, when running around the track. And it's just funny to talk to a CO. And it's funny to hear from a CO, and they go, hey, Rushakoff, where's Scumfuck? And I go, I don't know. They go, come on, man. You guys are thick as two thieves. Where you know where he is. Where's Scumfuck? And you hear over the loudspeaker, Scumfuck. Come to the... You know? Look at this guy. He's got a bicycle. He's got a bicycle on a...
Oh, he's getting pallets, too. Right?
Oh! Isn't it...
That's big money.
Wait, isn't that the old Coca-Cola bottling plant?
I think so, yeah.
You know that's where we did the first Concrete Blonde photo shoot?
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's on the album cover or something. I don't really remember. Yeah, that's where it was.
Yeah, that looks
Isn't it called, like, Terminal something or something?
Well, Terminal Island, that sounds...
No, but this is...
Okay.
What happened?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's the Coca-Cola. I told you about that when I flew through the van. Oh, my God.
What happened?
My friend Steve Sellers, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was when I was playing with Jimmer in the Love and Miseries, right? And we thought the band was going to be huge, right? You know, because the singer, Jimmer, he was great, though, you know, but he was married to Molly Ringwald's sister, and that was going to be the, you know, it was so funny. But anyway, that reminds me of my friend George Holstein. This guy was so funny. I keep digressing, but George Holstein should be brought up because he was really funny. Me and Rob, my cousin, we were doing this band in Chicago, and we thought we were going to use all the connections we had because Rob was a guitar player, and he was real tight with Dean, who made Dean guitars, right? Mm-hmm. And I had just done this thing with Jim Belushi, you know, because of Second City and my guitar player from 4XY working there being a bartender. So Jim Belushi came to my house a few times, and we rehearsed and stuff. I remember my sister, who couldn't stand my bands and was always complaining to my mom, make them stop! All of a sudden, Jim Belushi's there, and she's coming down, and she's got pieces of pineapple with toothpicks in it and hors d'oeuvres. and all of a sudden, my aunt's over there doing laundry. And I'm like, what's wrong with your laundry machine? Yeah. You know? And all of a sudden, you know, I'm like, oh, you guys are so bad, man. But anyways, so my cousin, you know, he goes, yeah, well, and we also, with 4XY, we did a record that Robin produced from Cheap Trick, because, you know, he's my friend. Name drops, you know, but Robin, although he wouldn't put his name on it, I mean, he did, but he put it on backwards, Red Naz Nibber. It says produced by Red Naz Nibber, Robin Zander, right? Because he couldn't, because of the being on Epic. And, you know, they would charge us or do something. But anyways, or maybe he just didn't want to be associated with it. But anyways, it was a pretty crazy band, right? So my cousin goes, oh, yeah, so we wanted to get George to sing for us because he was a good singer, George Holstein, right? George was cool. You would have loved him, Trixie. He was really funny, man. I mean, he was funny. I mean, he was like... you know, he had this bisexual thing going on, and he was like a living caricature of like Steven Tyler and everything. Except he would do it like in a way that was like really funny. Like if Steven Tyler was wearing leather pants, George would go out of his way to go get pleather. where he'd go, oh. I remember him saying something like, "Oh, it wears like leather but breathes like plastic," or something, you know. But he would get it and purposely get them like too short, like where, you know, like flood pants.
Yeah.
But like, you know, and like he would have them on, and then he would get like, I mean, he was just crazy. And then he'd strike these poses out of nowhere that were like Saturday Night Live, like John Travolta's pose, like that. You know, he was really funny, and he was always like wisecracking, right? But like, so when we go, George, listen, this band is going to do it. You got to do it with me and Rob, but it's really going to do it, because he was a neighborhood kid, and we all been in interchangeable bands and stuff. But we're like, this is the one. And he was like, really? Is it the one? Is it the one? And that was the only thing that had to be said, because through the whole career of the thing, he would always go, this is the one, you know? But then he goes, He goes, he'd come over and he's snapping his gum and he's striking poses and stuff in my basement. And he goes, I know, it's going to make it as soon as Xander Belushi and he goes, Xander Belushi and who did I say? Who's the other star or somebody? Wait, it was Belushi? Xander and Dean from Dean Guitars. He goes, he'd come there at the rehearsal, and every time he'd come down the stairs, first thing he would say is, so what time is Xander, Dean, and Belushi going to be here? And he was the funniest fucking guy, man. He was great, man. He should have been a star, this guy. He should have been a star. I mean, and if I showed you pictures of the guy, he was funnier than shit. And then I remember Concrete Blonde, we were playing, this is years later, and I moved to here, from Chicago, and Concrete Blonde, we're playing in New York at this place called The Bottom Line, and I get a note that says George Holstein wants to get backstage, and I was like, fuck yeah. I was like, bring him back here, right? And Johnette was like, I don't know about that. I mean, we're just not, letting people, like, we don't know them and stuff. She ended up fucking George, of course, because he was good looking and he was ahead of the curve. You know what I mean? With like almost everything. So, yeah, that was the same way with Tom from Cheap Trick. She was like when I first met them, and it was Dream 6, and we changed the name to Concrete Blonde. But first we talked about music for like 2 hours. We didn't even play, and for the first 2 times, and then we played after. But me and her sort of got into a little thing because I had mentioned that, a Cheap Trick, I like them, and Robin's a friend of mine. And then she was like, oh, well, REM and Michael Stipe, the Cheap Trick should wish they sold as many albums as them. And I was like, okay, I guess Live at Budokan doesn't count, but whatever, I had nothing bad against REM, except I thought they were pretty namby-pamby. But yeah, I mean, it's not like they had any real ferocious fire behind them, but they had some okay songs. I remember my friend Ted Moran, who was one of the funniest guys in the world in the neighborhood. Ted Moran, obviously a good Jewish kid. No, he's Irish, right?
Yeah, Moran.
Right, I'm just kidding. But his uncle, his great uncle, was definitely, for real, Bugs Moran, right? And which was really funny because his dad was a cop, Ted's. Like the family went in that direction after that, right? And then Ted was a cop. But anyways, Ted was so funny. He'd always do this old Jewish guy. He'd talk like him. He'd go, get out of here. What's the matter with you son of a bitch? Right? So he comes over to my house one day and he's singing the Michael Stipe song. And he's going, losing my religion. And he was so fucking funny, man. He'd go, I'm losing my religion. That's me in the corner. He'd go, that's me in the synagogue. He was fucking funny, man. I heard he passed away. I just can't believe it.
Really? How old was he?
Well, this is at my age, I mean, but this was already like 15 years ago.
Damn, what did he die of?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just kills me, though. It just kills me, man. When you get to be this age and stuff, you start losing your friends. And whether, the younger ones, obviously, we know, or, like drug situation and stuff. But like my singer from the band I told you, Guilt, Tommy McRae, man, he was the greatest. He was one of the greatest singers besides Johnette. I mean, as much as, we bucked heads, she was a fantastic singer. She just had a hard time playing bass and singing at the same time, and for a drummer it's a nightmare. But anyways, look at this. Here's a Charger RT. You see this? Let me show these guys. There it is, Charger RT, the things that everybody makes a big deal about, right? What do you notice about that car? The first thing that comes to mind, because I used to have hot rods when I was a kid, and I loved them. I had a 65 GTO. I had some badass rides. Look at that. What do you notice about it? I'll tell you what it is. What you notice. The fucking thing is a 4-door.
Oh, yeah.
You see that? It's a 4-door. Now, you know where they got that? From the fucking Australians, like Mad Max and shit. And I always said to myself, what does the 4-door insinuate? And the hood scoop and the hypo sound in the engine. Does that insinuate that you're going to take your family out, like on Sunday after church, to go drag racing?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean, it's the stupidest thing. It's just the stupidest. It makes no sense. I would never own a 4-door.
I agree with you.
Well, I mean, if you're going to have a hot rod, you don't own a 4-door. And I remember when the Chargers were 2 doors only, the RTs, like a 70 Charger, you know, and now they're 4 doors, and they make a big deal about them, and the Hellcat. None of those cars, I understand that they pull a lot of horsepower, but for some reason they don't look like they're all that fast to me.
Yeah, you're right.
Like when I was a kid, man, we had like a 427 Chevy. They had the L88, but there was one called the 427 ZL, which was an all aluminum block. Very hard car to find. Like a 67 Camaro ZL, you won't find those. And if you do, it's like $1 million. My friend Jess had one, and he didn't even know what it was at the time. And then you know what other car had a huge engine in it? That ugly wedge, not the TR6 Triumph. That was kind of okay. You remember those?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, those were kind of okay. But then the TR7, when they changed them into a wedge. Okay, well, they had a TR8. And the reason it was called an 8 was because it had a V8 in it. And it had a 455 Buick aluminum block. Can you believe that?
Yeah, but really.
Yeah, can you imagine how fast that car was?
I thought those originally were 4-cylinder, weren't they?
Yes. Well, let me tell you something. I had a guy pull up to me with one of those once, and I knew exactly what it was because I knew, you know, I was into cars. And it was a Triumph TR8, but most people didn't know. And I could tell he thought that I didn't know, but I knew because I could hear the engine. And it was like, you know, like really low and guttural. Instead of it being a 4-cylinder like British Leland garbage, you know, that sounded, you know, like a 4-cylinder sound. Fuck you. Fuck you. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Sorry, I gotta go. Watch this. How'd you like that? How'd you like that? Oh, here's the cops. What can I do? He doesn't care. You know why? Right. You know what kind of cop he is?
Not a traffic cop.
Who gives a fuck? No, he's a traffic cop. He's an LA cop. But do you remember that time when we were driving in the van coming from Huntington Park? Do you remember? And I was going in the wrong lane with the oncoming traffic, and it was a cop SUV.
Oh.
And they got so freaked out that they just side swerved us and didn't even want to look back. They just kept going.
Yeah, I do.
It was by the McDonald's on. I remember exactly where it was. It was by the McDonald's on what's that street? Miles and what's the name of that fucking Vernon?
Yeah, that's right.
Vernon and Miles and it was because I was running out of gas and I had to get us into that gas station, and I just fucking cut across some lanes that were going the wrong way, and they freaked out. But they were so freaked out, and I think it was females. At least one of them was a female, but there was like 3 cops in the car. But I thought they were like 2 females with like a male cop in the back. But they were so freaked out they couldn't believe that somebody. But I'm always ready to say, look, I'm running out of gas, man, because I usually am. You know, what the fuck, man? And then you know what? You just gotta tell them. Like I tell them, I go, would you rather me try to make it into a gas station using discretion and safety, although I'm not, but. Or have this thing run out and cause a complete clogged up, you know, thoroughfare. That is not a thoroughfare anymore. It's a stucco fare. Clogged up fare. Why don't you go to this one?
Oh, that one's not a bank.
Yeah, it's an ATM.
It's an ATM.
Why, you have to go in the bank?
Yeah.
Okay, how do you like they closed that?
The what?
That Bank of America, they closed it.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they just couldn't make it over there. I knew they couldn't. You don't open a Bank of America with a lobby open and everything in the middle of Skid Row. You know? Ridiculous. Yeah. That was the worst, man, that Bank of America. I remember thinking about the people. Look at this guy screaming and moving. I remember when they opened that thing. And then there was all these panhandlers at the what do you call it again? Where the drive-through tellers, right? They're all lined up like right, so that when the cars get done at the teller, they're asking for money.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, people were just, you could tell, people were like, oh, I'm never coming back here. So eventually there was nobody going to that bank. They closed it. You know that building is going to be all apartments. You see it?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they started that building, when I was parked over there?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that? Look at this. I want to show everybody. Wait, let me get over. Can I get over? Well, I am now. Okay, look at this. They got to see this shit. I remember when the guy told me, these construction guys, they don't ever want to tell you anything, you know? I don't know if they're told not to do that or what, but see that building? When they were dug the crater, which is like the basement, and is like 20 feet deep, or way deeper, 30 feet deep. I mean, if you fell when it was, the earth was out of it and stuff, you would be fucked up, right? Okay. Well, they were telling me, I go, what are they going to build here? He goes, a parking lot. The whole thing's going to be a parking lot. Now look at how disgusting it is. It says theartsdistrict.com, right? Those are all going to be apartments for what I call pseudo artists, people whose mommy and daddy are paying for their rent, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And they think they're artists. Let me tell you something. I lived down here in 91 through like 96 when it was really, really, really fucking dangerous. And it was the art district, you know? Because that's when artists, they live, you know, not, I mean, I'm talking about fine arts, you know. In fact, they were always looked down on musicians, you know? Even back then. But at least it was cooler. Now, look at this now. This is all like, I guarantee you this is all like money from, you know, afar, abroad. And it's just gross.
Yeah, nothing to do with art.
Yeah, anytime they put up signs that say the historical art district, it's over. It's over. And look at this. These guys opened this, the bike shed. Look at this. This is 3 lots they bought. That right there, they sell all the leather jackets and bullshit. Yeah. This one right here is for the plebeians, for the regular people that come here and want to have a drink and something to eat. I guess they have a kitchen, and it's expensive. I've never been in there. And this right here, they opened the third one. Look at that Porsche there, right? They opened this one, which is a museum, and all they have in there is like Moto Guzzi's and, you know, there's Harleys, but Moto Guzzi's. And I found out, I told you that they have one in London where it originated. So these are a bunch of limeys, you know, that got some investors and put that together there. And I'm like a block away where I'm parked. So it's like, see, look, the bike shed, public parking, right? So it's like they, I see how busy they are on Friday and Saturday. And check this out. You can pay like $5,000 a year and be a member, and then you get a locker and you can keep your booze in it.
What?
Yeah. So you could, you get it. It's the real she bullshit.
Yeah.
Right. Look at this. Somebody took my parking place.
Oh, shit.
I don't give a fuck. I'll park wherever I want. I'll park in the red zone. I'm a bad boy. I'm a bad man. Just ask me what I did today. You know what I did? I do a lot of bad shit, you know. Today I did some real bad shit. I ate an apple today. I didn't even wash it. What do you think of that? And I was thinking about buying a pen tonight, not testing it.
Buying what?
Not testing it. Buying a pen,
Oh, okay.
not testing it. That's really going out on a limb.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or how about jumping on the bus and talking to the driver when it's in motion?
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Talk about. And look at this place here. This place, these places were slum places. And look at this. That's like some Italian restaurant now that like they have valet parking and all this bullshit. I got to get out of here, man. I'm not going to stay here. You know, it's completely shit. And there's the LA Gun Club.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Do you remember the band, the Gun Club? Oh, yeah. They were awesome. Awesome. Jeffrey Lee Pierce, he's dead.
Did he die?
Yeah, he's dead, of course. he OD'd. That you know what? He used to be. He was Blondie's before the gun club. He was Blondie's fan club president. Jeffrey Lee Pierce from. I love the gun club, man. You know that one album with Ghost on the Highway? You got the greatest fucking slide guitar. And Paul, did you ever hear the Dream Syndicate?
Yeah.
Those guys were real good friends of the band when we all got along. And Johnette was going out with this guy, Steve Wynn. He was the main guy from the Dream Syndicate. Really, really nice guy. And a great writer, great musician. I don't know whatever happened to him, but he was one of the nicest guys. You know, like there were certain people that would see the way Johnette would treat situations, and like they could tell, like if she fucked up and she started yelling at me for it, like they would say something to her. And Steve was one that could do that. He'd go, "What are you talking about, Johnette? It was very obvious that you stopped playing." And then she wouldn't know what to say because it was her boyfriend, sort of. And you could see her like whispering shit, like, "Shut up, Steve! Shut up! Don't tell him that. You're gonna give him confidence." You know what I mean? Shut up! Look, see that building right there? Look at this. Okay, now I remember, like in 1993 or something, that building. I remember that building was all shot out, right? Mm-hmm. And nobody would go in there. There was like some really bad shit going on. Look at it now. Wait. Look on the roof. See that? What they done to that place? How much do you think those lofts are?
Oh, I'm priceless.
The only thing the only purpose that serves now is for target practice with my pellet rifle.
Yeah, there you go. What are those things up there on the roof? I don't have my contact.
They're like fucking foliage, fake foliage and trees and stuff for, it's like a pool up there or something. I don't know. I doubt it's a pool because it wasn't built structurally for that.
Yeah, it takes a lot to put a pool on a roof.
Actually, it doesn't. I read about that, and that when they build a building, if they calculate the displacement of water in the weight per square foot, it's really not that bad. It's not that bad. But because there's a place that's on Union and Temple, that's a newer building, and I couldn't believe they had a pool on top, and they did. Here, I was going to show you guys something. You want to come? I'm going to show you some shit that I do into the bus. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. This is what we're going to do. You don't have to lock it because if anybody does anything, they're going to die a bad death. Uh-oh, did I just lose it? Okay, listen, we'll be back. We'll be back. I can't see what's going on here. But anyways, we'll be back. I gotta see something. Okay. We'll be back in like an hour or something. What? What'd you say?